Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the She Is Me conference. We are so honored to have Shelly Johnson with us from Aloha Hemp, all the way from the Big Island in Hawaii today. Shelly, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa, for introducing me. I'm here. I'm Shelly Johnson. I live in Hawaii. I'm a mom of five. Just had a 3-month-old, and I love to inspire others to live the reality of abundance and this high vibrational spirit. It's taken me this whole journey to get to, I guess you could say, the reality that I now live, that I manifested throughout these whole years. And it's amazing to see this whole journey. I look back and there's been a lot of hard work, a lot of things, ups and downs. We've had to release all kinds of stuff. And it started as I was a kid. I was always so inspired to do things that got my body, the energy flowing in my body, that I could actually feel that vibrational energy. I didn't know that I actually was doing that at the time. When I was just 5 years old, I enjoyed, instead of like going and playing with my friends, I enjoyed doing the monkey bars, and I can feel that energy going. And I always loved doing things that got me just feeling strong and happy inside. I also enjoyed loving like horses. So I would, because my mom was really into horses growing up, and she was a trainer too. So that's that energy that we connect with animals, and I really connected with horses. And I feel like that's been the whole start of this journey as a young kid when I was young. And I always wanted to do things that just made me happy. And it created this positive energy that I've had throughout. It's carried me throughout the lives, throughout all the years. When I have my ups and downs, I always go back inside myself. I didn't even know I was doing that as a kid. It always starts with what's inside you. And if we look inside instead of looking outward, we can create so much abundance, so much love in our life. Throughout the years, I've had these ups and downs. I'm going to be sharing that with you, how I've created this whole reality. Being here in Hawaii, I've always dreamed about it, always talked about it with my family. You know, they've been wanting to make this whole journey, this whole leap, and to get over here to where my family of five, plus my husband and I. And it started when, mostly when I was in high school. I had so many symptoms going on. I always had this drive to like better myself, better what's inside of me. But I had things that was holding me back. It was symptoms like I would have pain in my joints. When I was running track and field and cross country, I would get these asthma attacks going on. I would get allergies too. I would feel like when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I would feel just not energized. And I just knew there was just so much more to life than feeling this way. I didn't understand what was really holding me back at the time until I became a lot more educated on what is happening inside my own body. The time I loved studying like microbiology and studying things that helped our bodies inside. Even from like going 7th, 8th grade, I was really fascinated on that. I thought our bodies ran on chemicals because I could see the food when we were putting in food in our bodies. I would read the packages, and I didn't even know really what I was doing at the time, but I saw chemicals in there, and I thought that our body really ran on chemicals. And throughout the years, as I became more educated, I'd say it was my dad started becoming a lot more conscious in that state. He was researching all kinds of things on how to take care of our body naturally. And things sometimes comes up in our life to get us to manifest our dreams and manifest what our real purpose is in life. I'd say the things that I went through, I was supposed to go through. So in high school, I got diagnosed with mono, and I could like barely open my eyes. I was, I felt like a thriving high school student. I was going to get a scholarship and stuff. I was really on that verge of I had that dream to go to Hawaii. So I wanted to get a scholarship, and I knew that was going to be my ticket to get to Hawaii. But then I got diagnosed with mono. And I remember just going to school, and I was like a straight A student, and I could barely open my eyes. I went from like thriving, and I was really top in my running, and I thought it was doing really awesome. And then just like one day, I felt like I could barely open my eyes. I barely had much energy. I was so swollen in my face, and I just knew that this was, this was not what I was supposed to be going through. But I knew there was something that is why I was going through it. So my dad, instead of taking me to the doctors, we went to this acupuncturist. He was this energy medicine healer. And I remember going in there, and he was doing like these energy work, this NRT testing, and he was seeing what I was allergic to in my body. And first he told my family and I that I needed to just focus on what I was eating, and the allergies, asthma, and the mono stuff would actually just start going away. So he said, okay, just try getting off dairy and gluten. That time I was like, all right, let's, whatever it takes, like we'll do it. And we didn't know too much about that at the time. There was nowadays there's so many dairy-free and gluten-free options. But if you go to like a restaurant, let's say when I was like 17, this was years and years ago, it was really hard to find things that you can actually eat. So once I got off dairy and gluten, even that first week, I didn't have those symptoms. They started going away. The allergies, the asthma, like instantly started going away. I never had those attacks anymore when I was running. I started noticing like the inflammation in my face, around my eyes were so puffy. At the time, they starting to slowly go away, and I started becoming so fascinated on food and taking care of my body at the time. Even like looking at the stuff that I was putting like on my hair, because I was coloring my hair at the time, and I was like, wow, this is so many chemicals. I thought like we ran our body and stuff was fine with dealing with chemicals, but little bit did I know that that was not the natural thing to do. So I started becoming so fascinated on anything that was natural putting into your body, and in the energy it was doing to like my body. And I noticed these changes happening so fast, and I started becoming this thriving person that I had when I was 15, 16 years old, and 17 years old when I started feeling all those symptoms come up. Because when I was 15, I did my first triathlon, and I barely even trained for it. I went and did it, and I was competing against like 17, 18-year-olds and 16-year-olds and guys and girls. And I ended up doing an extra lap around swimming in the water. And I was like, oh man, like usually you would almost want to quit then. But I just knew I needed to push through it. And that was kind of like my first turning point, I'd say, that I knew I had a lot of potential, a lot within myself. And when I pushed through that triathlon, I ended up winning it when I was 15 years old. When I was competing against 16, 17, 18-year-olds, I ended up winning it, being the first girl and male to come in. And I was so excited that my body could do that. And then going from that, having a thriving, so much energy, I felt this vibration was so high, and then getting and feeling that mono, and then the allergies and the stuff that was going on within my body so fast when I turned 17. I'm thankful now. I look back at it now and I'm like, wow, that really was the turning point. I was supposed to go through that so I can actually know how to heal my body and inspire others to do the same, because there's so much to learn. Like, it's not just something you can do overnight to create the body you desire, the life you desire. It takes this whole journey, and it started then. I'd say when I was 17, I was really getting into the energy medicine with healing your body with the acupuncture and the foods, and just getting rid of all the chemicals and stuff in our house. I'm so grateful that we learned about that then, because when I got in college, and even my first couple years in college, I shifted so much and within myself, and I became so in tune what was going on that I just wanted to keep learning more and more. We're always learning, and it's so amazing what we can do when we actually like open our eyes to so many different possibilities. I always like kept an open mind to learning all kinds of new things. And when I met my husband that I know that I have now, we've known each other since I was 18. So it was right after I started learning all of this. Um, he took it to another level in our health as well. I say the frequencies, the energy that we had together from the start has drove us to now where we're at now. And I couldn't have like asked for a better journey. There were so many ups and downs, and it started shifting. When we got married, I ended up having my first son, as we have 3 boys and 2 girls, when I was 22, so I was still in college. And that's when we started learning a lot more about even the body then. I was only gluten and dairy free, and I was feeling so much better, but I noticed that I was still having these digestion issues, and I still get pain throughout my body in different areas. So I knew that it was something I was eating. And after having my second son now, and I was still in college, that's when we really started diving into even the energy that was in food. So after having my second son, he was breaking out on his face, and I just graduated college then. So I had more of the time to dive into this lifestyle that now we've been thriving on. And I graduated college a week after having my second son, and my son was about 3 months old, and he was just breaking out like all these little tiny bumps. And the doctor was saying that, oh, it's just like baby acne. I knew it was so much more than that. I knew it was because I was breastfeeding him, and it was whatever I was eating, and I knew he was getting it. And I was eating about, I'd say like I was eating eggs and barely any like fruits and vegetables at the time, especially not anything raw, fruit and vegetables. And my husband, through that year before, was saying, you know, we need to try this plant-based thing, this lifestyle. Let's just try it for a week and see how we feel. And before, I was kind of like closed up to it. I had a lot going on with being in college, having a little baby. That was one, and then being pregnant again. And after I graduated college and my second son, when he was dealing with those symptoms, it wasn't about me at the time. It was about, taking care of my kids. And they're my driving force to wanting to learn about more of this plant-based lifestyle that we live now, and in the energy medicine and plants. And it's just so much more that we've learned. And after I decided, just after having seen my son go through what he was going through, he was having so much digestion issues, hard to sleep at night, and he was only 3 months old. So we tried it for a week. I noticed the symptoms in him going down. He was barely even breaking out after a week. It was almost completely going away at 2 weeks. And I didn't know at the time that I was actually inspiring a lot of other people around me. They started seeing all the shifts, even my families. They started seeing so many shifts, and I guess I could say my own energy within myself. And I saw what was going on in my own body. I even lost almost 20 pounds. It was 17, 18 pounds in just a few months. And I didn't know I had that till even lose, but it was so much inflammation. So as the inflammation started coming off, I noticed the energy that was flowing in our own body, in our own mind, can actually feel so much more alive. I used to feel like I was foggy head, and it just took so much to learn things. I remember even studying in college, I would have to go over and over things to learn it. And it just seemed like life started getting easier and easier as we're focusing on what we're putting in our own body. And at that time, it started shifting into, I felt like this is more of the path we're supposed to take. This was the purpose. I was supposed to be here to help a lot of people around me. I didn't know anybody that was going through any of this, especially with the food and the shift that we're learning with all the plants and what it could do for our own body. So I just was like consuming, I was eating it as much as I put in my body. I felt like the abundance that was happening in our life started shifting. My husband started getting different jobs, so we moved from California to Florida, and I started doing more of this plant-based education. I started shifting into that and educating people. And I'd say just being like a voice and sharing what I was feeling inside. I just noticed like people just started being so like in this almost like a trance, just like they wanted to just hear more and more. And it was the frequency when I started learning about what the food was doing in our own body and how we feel inside. You know, it radiates out into the world. So if we're all feeling good inside, like the world's going to feel good. We're going to create these higher vibrational state within our own self. And I started seeing the whole shifts in just our family. And the more that we took care of ourselves, the more that was manifesting in our life. So as we made those shifts, we created our own little our dream boards, and we would look at them each and every day. So I always had this desire to go to be in Hawaii, and I knew from freshman year in high school when I first went to Maui, and I could feel the energy from the island. I knew that was where I was meant to go someday. And I didn't know exactly when that was going to be. And I thought I was going to do it as getting a scholarship going for college and running there in Oahu. But that wasn't the path I was supposed to take. So I was supposed to learn all of this with the food and the whole lifestyle that we've taken this whole journey, and having my kids and having my husband get to this whole state that we're in now. So we're in Florida. We knew that it was just not for us. We knew that we needed to make some shifts. So we did these dream boards. I created exactly what I wanted to manifest. And it was starting to come true. Like I couldn't believe it. I would look at it every single day, and I knew the power of our thoughts, what we're putting in our thoughts, what we believed in inside of our own selves. We can create anything. We can create that abundance in our life. At the time, my husband was flying back and forth from Florida to New York, and every single week, and we had 3 little boys at the time. And I knew that wasn't the lifestyle that we wanted to create forever. I knew we just needed to get over this hump that we're going through. So I created those dream boards. I was looking at it every single day. And then we would look at homes in Hawaii. We didn't really share with anybody that we were going to move there. We didn't even know when we were. But we found the home that we're in right now. And we found it. And we just went and we took that leap of faith. And we didn't tell any of our family when we bought it. But we were on a cruise and we put this video together. And I was actually ended up being pregnant with my daughter at the time. That was part of our manifesting our reality. So I knew I really wanted a girl so bad, and we wanted to be in Hawaii. So all of that I put on the dream board, I even put it to the day. And moving to Hawaii, I put it on our anniversary on July 3rd. And I put, that's the day we're going to be here in our home. And that was the day that we flew to Hawaii, to the house that we're in right now. And that was like a huge another turning point where I knew that we could absolutely manifest anything. Sometimes before that, I feel like we're like never going to get out of where we're at. Like we didn't like the lifestyle that we were living at the time. And we literally just wanted to be together as a family. And we knew if we came together, we can inspire so many people. And getting to Hawaii at that time, and shifting and making all the shifts we had to do in our lifestyle, it wasn't easy to get here because we went through so much hard work and so much things that we needed to release. There's so many frequencies and things that we went through as a young kid, and we became programmed to. We had to make all those shifts, and just letting go. We constantly had to let go. And I say, the more we let go, the more we visualize what we wanted to do in our whole life, is how we got to Hawaii. But when we got here, My husband still had to commute actually to New York from Hawaii, and he was going back and forth. So we ended up going to the mainland after we got to Hawaii for 9 months. We ended up going back over there, and we were just not happy at all. We knew we needed to get back because that was the energy we felt in Hawaii. It was just unreal, and we knew we needed to be back there. So I knew my husband needed to quit his job to get back there, but I'm like, well, what are we going to do? We have nothing to fall back on. So right as we're hitting about 9 months, he decided to quit his job. We're going to move back to our house in Hawaii. And when we let that go, there was so much that we created this last like 3 years. This is what we got to our Aloha Hemp business that we have right now, and that we've been inspiring others to live the lifestyle. As soon as we did that, I saw a video on Facebook, and it was this girl that had fibromyalgia. She was dealing with so much pain, and she was taking CBD at the time. And I just knew that, I needed to get this for my husband because he was so stressed out. He couldn't even look at a computer screen anymore. He couldn't do his job. He could barely even take care of himself. So I got the CBD for him, even though he was so skeptical and he thought it was like, like taking, I don't know, drugs or something. It was like marijuana. And little did he know that was not the case. So I got that for him. He started noticing like the stress getting off of him. At the time, I had eczema and psoriasis going on in my own body. And for like 6 years. So I was dealing with that for 6 years. And when I started taking CBD, I couldn't even like hold his hand at the time. I started taking CBD and I noticed the shifts in him. Yeah, I didn't even see what was happening in my own self. After just 3-4 weeks of taking it, he held my hand. He usually doesn't because I had all the eczema and psoriasis going on, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, your hands are like completely super soft. Like where did all that go?" Because they were like breaking the skin. It was like red and itchy. It was like insane when I went through at the time. And when we noticed what was happening with our own body, with me getting rid of the eczema and psoriasis, and him actually feeling so much life, he's felt that higher vibrational state he hasn't felt in years. And at the time, we didn't know that we're going to be creating Aloha Hemp, but he just knew. He mentioned, well, you know what? Why don't we go home? Because we're in California visiting our family. When we get home, why don't we like farm and get this going? Because the 2018 bill just passed. And I was like, what are you talking about? We're gonna be a farmer? No way. So we got back, and we had this event called the Lava Man triathlon that I was going to go to. And we decided just to set up a booth there. In 2 weeks, we created the Aloha Hemp. We bought the website, and we had our first like 40 people with the customers that we got from there. And we heard so many things that was happening, because the athletes are usually pretty in tune with what's going on within their body. So we got all this feedback, and we're just so blown away what the CBD was doing to the people that we just gave to at this triathlon. So we started farming it in Hawaii, and we started seeing all this shift that was happening within our own self. We started raising up our vibrational state, and we're just so happy. We're becoming so happy inside, and we're letting go of so many frequencies. The CBD allowed us to let go of a lot of frequencies within our own body. So we knew we wanted to help other people do the same. And we saw so many people that were just not happy with their job. So we created our whole team with Aloha Hemp. We have an affiliate with Aloha Hemp. And we saw other people that were starting to join us, and they were starting to feel so good. They were starting to create the income that they desired, and just the energy that was happening with our Aloha Hemp company. And everybody that was manifesting and was coming into it, they're feeling so happy. We noticed that as we started manifesting so much inside our own body, inside of ourselves, that we could do anything that we desired. And we were feeling so happy that we saw everybody else feeling the same, and we saw the shifts happening that we knew that we're on the right path, that this was our purpose, and we knew that we were going to dedicate everything to it. So as we started growing and our team started getting bigger and bigger, we started the shifts that was happening in even the world this last year as we were growing inside and feeling we've never felt this vibrational happy energy. And people are like, well, how do you do it? You have, now 5 kids, and how are you growing and doing all this yourself? It's because we're looking within. So a lot of times, I'll just put my hand on my heart. I've learned this year, actually just recently. I'll put my hand on my heart and I could just feel the energy and the love. And sometimes I'll just tap it and I'll say compassion, caring, appreciation, gratitude, and I just tap it, and I feel that within myself, and it starts activating all the receptors in my own body, and it starts manifesting whatever I want to create. And I share that with a lot of people because they don't know how to even start. So I say, well, you know what, just take the CBD. Sometimes we'll just give it to them, and they start actually opening up things that maybe they have stuck inside themselves. So the frequencies that's inside yourself, you have to let go of anything. So as you start doing that, you'll see the consciousness start becoming alive. Start seeing what you are actually creating in your own life. So if you're not feeling happy, you guys, I suggest just looking within yourself. If you haven't taken CBD, we'd be happy to give you guys a discount today. If you type in alohahemp.com and then use the coupon code Aloha Vibe 50, you can use that. We have a Hawaiian Sunrise and a hemp balm, a 500 milligram hemp balm and a 500 milligram Hawaiian Sunrise. It's like an orange taste. Yeah, you can just go to alohahemp.com and try those two out. Just rub the balm on you, and you just start noticing just your body starting to feel good. And that's the first shift that I highly recommend you guys starting to do, because you'll start noticing the shift within your own body. And if we all start doing that and just start looking within and make sure that you throughout the day, if you're not feeling good, put your hand on your heart, and you'll notice like the love and what's inside you. You have so much you can create. And if you just start within, you'll notice that this huge shift, this huge consciousness that we're starting to see. People tell me, like, there's so many shifts happening and people are starting to become awakened. Like, how do I start with that? Just start within yourself. If you start taking CBD, start taking it, on a small, just 3 to 5 drops, small dosage, and then you can start increasing it from there. Just noticing whatever's going on within yourself, because we all have different things going on. We may have traumas and emotions that is holding us back from our past. You'll notice how easier it is when you start putting in the higher vibrational state, which CBD harnesses. And that plant, the cannabis plant, has that in it. So if we start putting in more plants and that energy, we're going to notice so much in our life. And I'm so excited to hear if you guys have any comments, you want to leave me any feedback, just let me know, because I'd be happy to share any more things with you. Anything that maybe you need help with in your life, I'm here to help. So thank you so much again for letting me take the time. Thank you for taking the time to hear my journey. I hope this inspired you guys. Just remember, it starts within, just creating the love in the manifesting whatever you would love to in your life. It all starts within. So thank you so much, you guys. So glad to have you here and to have you a part of this whole journey.
Shelly, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm so
It's
grateful. I'm
it's a
so much to
it's a
be here.
great segue to I'm up next after you, and it's a great segue because all I teach is how to raise your vibration and
That's
how to
perfect.
manifest everything that you want in your life, and to do it through creativity and finding things that you love and using that right brain to tap into that
Oh,
energy, right?
absolutely.
Connect with source and manifest. So
Absolutely.
your message was amazing. I was like,
You.
yes.
Yay.
I
Thank
love,
you.
and everyone here, everyone is so aligned. We're all just following the same path. We get it. So, um, I love that we've all come together to help others and to let everyone else know that this is possible. You can manifest the life of your dreams.
Yes, we may all have had a different journey to get here,
Yes.
but we're all so aligned in what we
Hmm.
want to do with our life too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
connect. Thank
Yes.
you. And we'll be
Thank
back in a half an hour and I'll be on
you.
live.
Woo!
Okay,
This will be fun.
bye.
Bye.